I'm concerned that the department and the city are no longer really interested in following the rules of the road.
The San Diego Police Department wants to move smart streetlights, what critics are saying.
This merger is the right thing for our customers and our associates.
This is just really a bad idea. In the end, it will result in less convenience and higher prices for consumers.
The largest supermarket merger in U.S. history. Why the federal government and consumer groups say it's a bad idea.
That was pretty eye-opening to think about how big this animal really was.
The DNA results are in. What we're learning about a shark attack in Del Mar last month. It's 6 a.m. on Wednesday, July 10th, and you're up with CBS 8.
Well, it's going to be another hot day across our county. Stop me if you've heard that before, especially in our desert and inland areas. Thanks for joining us here, everyone. 6 a.m. on this Wednesday. I'm Eric Connor.
And I'm Neda Iranpour. But of course, we have the beach to cool us off if you have the luxury of getting there. Meteorologist Evan Arati joining us. What a difference. I mean, from the coast to a few miles east.
It really
game-changing.
It shows what a difference there is. I do think that it's day after day that we've been saying the same thing, but you have to say it. I mean,
important.
It is another day of
people's
dangerous
safety.
heat out there. Should be limiting the time that you're spending out there, especially across our mountains and deserts. Get to the coast instead. We are watching for temperatures mainly in the mid-70s along the coastline, inland valleys in the low 90s, mountains and deserts, boy, they could be in the triple digits by this afternoon. Campo made it to the triple digits yesterday, and Ramona is expected to do so today with their afternoon high closer to what we'll see across the mountains at 101. 117 out there across the deserts. Here's what it is out the door as we speak. 60 in Ramona, 62 in Poway, and 68 in San Diego. We see that by the time we get to the weekend, we'll start to get a little bit of a cool down on hand, and that'll be the first one since summer began. So we'll finally head back toward normal into the weekend and early next week. Coming up in just a few minutes, we'll talk about how the next couple days will pan out and about some monsoonal moisture that could drift in by the weekend. Back to you.
Oh, yeah. All right. Thank you very much, Evan. And we have a list of cool zones under the help button on our website, cbs8.com. And for the very latest weather conditions and alerts, when you're not able to watch us, but you're on the go, download the free CBS 8 app from Google Play or the App Store. And now, later today, San Diego Police Department will ask city leaders for permission to relocate several smart streetlights.
The streetlights have helped police solve crimes, of course, but they also come with some privacy concerns. CBS 8's Chris Groh live in Hillcrest, where some of these streetlights could soon be going up there. Chris?
Yeah, so they're going to be presenting their case about moving those other smart streetlight cameras in other parts of the city and other neighborhoods later on today. But of course, this does come as they move to quickly install cameras here in about 14 locations in Hillcrest because of exigent circumstances. So they sort of bypassed the normal approval procedure because of they wanted to A, get them installed before Pride, and then B, because there's still that outstanding person or group that was shooting pellet guns at people outside of bars here in Hillcrest. And so as for the reason why they want to move these smart streetlights here in other neighborhoods, according to city documents, they found, quote, significant infrastructural issues, end quote, during install. That could be anything from city light poles and no power, others without constant power. Then you have buildings that were blocking camera views and light poles belonging to Caltrans. So the department is instead asking for the solution to be using a 2-block zone when choosing specific locations for these cameras. The department says that would provide it with the flexibility to move them to other locations within these zones in case there are any issues. Now, there are some critics about the smart streetlights. That includes Seth Hall of the San Diego Trust Coalition. He has these concerns.
I'm concerned that the department and the city are no longer really interested in following the rules of the road that the communities of San Diego set out in 2020 when we were trying to figure out how to make it so that the city can use this technology while also benefiting from the trust of San Diegans.
Now, the Public Safety Committee will be meeting later today at 2 p.m. Eric and Neda.
Chris, thank you very much for the details on that. And now also today, the Coastal Commission holding a hearing on a plan to put a safe parking site next to the airport in Point Loma. Right now, the city of San Diego wants to temporarily use this H. Barrick site to create 190 safe parking lots for people experiencing homelessness. That would nearly double the capacity of the city's safe parking program. If approved, it would only be temporary, with construction set to start for a water treatment facility in that location by the year 2029. This comes after a plan to put a massive homeless shelter on the site was canceled. There was pushback from people who live around there. Residents cited safety concerns with a playground and 9 schools in the surrounding area, including places like Liberty Station. Today's meeting is set for 9 a.m. Also today, the International Boundary and Water Commission Forum Board is holding a public meeting. They will have an update on the repairs of the South Bay wastewater treatment plant. They're also expected to give an update on the infrastructure improvements in San Diego and in Tijuana. Billions of gallons of sewage flows into our waters every year. The county is now asking for the CDC's help to investigate the potential health impacts to local communities, all the people who live around IB. Today's meeting starts at 5:30. It'll be at the Coronado Community Center.
This morning, we are learning an Escondido man is pleading guilty following his arrest earlier this year on allegations of molesting and secretly video recording female students at his job as a driving instructor. 51-year-old Richard Banks was an instructor with El Cajon-based American Driving School at the time of his arrest. Banks pleaded guilty to 11 counts, including sexual battery. He is expected to be sentenced later this year and could serve up to 5 years in prison. And a former North County substitute teacher and youth sports coach is pleading guilty to felony sex crimes. 28-year-old Connor Shanove was arrested last year after a woman told police she found her 13-year-old daughter with a man in a vehicle at an Oceanside park. Shanove initially pleaded not guilty, but changed that this week as part of a deal where he will serve 10 months in prison. At the time of his arrest, Shanove was employed by the Vista Unified School District and worked as a coach for the Carlsbad-based Seaside Water Polo Club.
Voters in San Marcos will see a new sales tax measure on the ballot this November, so keep an eye out for this. San Marcos City Council unanimously voted to add a 1% general sales tax measure to the ballot. This was approved last night. Now, if that gets approved by voters come November, it would raise the city's sales tax to 8.75%. The city says the new tax money would go towards city services like maintaining their roads, keeping community facilities safe, and a lot more listed there. The ballot measure will only need a simple majority to pass.
Can you tell me which one is the boy?
That one is bigger, and the black around its eyes are different.
I thought that the female was the male, but now I see the very feminine face, maybe the softer ears, except she's got those teeth, but us females, we can be fierce. So now I'm like feeling this, yeah.
Okay, fierce and female?
Love the reactions, yeah.
Which one's which? This morning we are learning more on how to distinguish between the 2 new giant pandas that are here at our San Diego Zoo. These are the latest images we got. So the zoo tells us they are adjusting well to their new home here in town, but will not be on public display for some time. That's when you can really stare at them. Since their arrival, the San Diego Zoo has worked with Chinese experts to try to satisfy the pandas' dietary needs and preferences. Now, the boy is Yun Chuan. So you see him there on the right of your screen, about 5 years old, has a long, slightly pointed nose. So you see the difference? The nose comes out, the one that gives you that look, bats the eyes. He enjoys exploring in the grass and climbing trees. Now, the girl on the left side of your screen, Sin Bao, almost 4 years old, has a large, round face with big, fluffy ears. They look fluffy on both sides, but okay, hers are fluffier. Her name means previous treasure of prosperity and abundance. Her hobbies include sunbathing and eating.
Same.
So
Oh,
nice.
wow.
I love what they both do.
You and Sin Bao
We had that in
have
common.
the same thing going on there.
Sunbathing and eating,
Your
doing it all
ears
at
aren't
once.
quite as fuzzy, but
Not yet. Apparently, Yun Chuan also is like very patient, and he whenever they bring new food in or anything, he lets everyone else go first.
nice.
Oh,
Like
wow.
meanders.
What a
Ladies
gentleman.
first.
Exactly. He's
Okay.
quite a gentleman. Exactly. So
Yes.
it's so exciting. I mean, of course, we love just to watch them, but getting to know the personalities
Yes.
of each, so fun.
As a San Diego news team, we tend to investigate our pandas very
It's
deeply.
very important.
It's very
We are putting all of our efforts.
investigative reporters we got on
News,
this.
and then there's
Just you wait.
panda
We'll
news.
get to the bottom of those 2 personalities. 6:09 right now on the clock. It's a foggy start to the day along the coastline. You'll watch for those clouds pretty much as far east as Ramona, El Cajon. Right now at less than a mile of visibility in El Cajon. So on the morning commute, you might run into some of those low clouds. They will start to lift a bit over the next several hours, and then they'll pull back. They'll hang at the coast, and that's going to help to keep the coast in the more mild, moderate range. 70s for the most part, 75 for PB this afternoon, 79 for downtown, 79 for National City. You start to make your way east and you break into the 80s. La Mesa, 86, Santee and El Cajon, 93 for that afternoon high. In North County, we're going to have a pretty similar scene on hand, 90s toward areas like Escondido, Poway, RB, and then you get to Ramona. We could break into the triple digits, 101 for the afternoon high. Borrego Springs and Ocotillo Wells have been in the 1-teens all week long. Julian in the upper 90s. Campo made it to 106 yesterday. Today, hoping for a high of 105. Now, when we look at the records that we broke yesterday, Ramona made it to 100, and today is expected to be warmer. Tomorrow could be even warmer than today. So there is a possibility that we go on 2 to 3 day records. And these are your daily high temperature records that were set. I didn't even show on the screen here the low temperature records that were set because they were the warmest overnight lows that we had seen for the day as well. So that means that we don't get a lot of relief in the overnight stretch there. Conditions outside right now, pretty foggy in many spots, especially Carlsbad at 66 degrees. Right now in Santee, 62, and in National City, we're at 67. Pretty much every spot along the coast and inland is working with some amount of cloud cover, and then we'll see much more sunshine the farther east you go, especially over the next several hours. Let's take a look at traffic. It's 6:11 on the clock right now, and so far we are watching as there is still some fog, mainly affecting your morning commute. So that's going to be the biggest impact of the morning. I will take you to the northbound 5. There's no crashes on the screen there, but it looks like getting toward the Coronado Bridge, you might start to see a little bit of slowing as you get that off-ramp from the 5 onto the bridge. That's just going to be a popular route for the next about hour or so, getting over the bridge itself. Checking in on border wait times. Let's see what it is. San Ysidro Port of Entry going to take you just over an hour, so about an hour 5. Otay Mesa Port of Entry, just slightly longer, about an hour 15 in total. Remember, CBS8.com/traffic can give you everything you need for that morning commute, including these border wait times. Back to you.
Evan, thank you for that. Coming up next, what we are now learning about President Joe Biden's health.
Holy.
Plus, a tornado spawning from Tropical Storm Beryl. A look at the impacts of the storm next. And the unique is now impacting our state's agriculture industry.